I sighed and drooped my shoulders. Fine, what do you want? Elated by my response, Nakchan didn't even try to hide the smile spreading across her face. The possibility of a reward, which had been denied to her all morning, was now looking attainable after all. I want a trip to the beach. What? Cut off by Estelle mid-sentence, Nakchan stared at her co-conspirator in surprise. After convincing Nakchan that she needed a reward after all, Estelle wasted no time in showing her ulterior motive. Seriously, the beach? What? You thought I was joking about coming here to chill by the beach? You don't get a body like this by sitting in front of a canvas all day. Estelle struck a pose as she spoke about her own body. Whether she was serious about the reason for her enrollment or not, Estelle did appear to have a genuine interest in the beach. That's not fair. This is supposed to be Nakchan's reward. Why should Estelle get to decide? Because Estelle knows best. Come now. Don't you want to give it a shot? We've been housemates for a little while, yet we haven't hung out together even once. This could be a good opportunity for all of us to bond or something, right? I don't know. We can rub lotion on each other's backs, play beach volleyball, have water fights, you name it. And if you're really lucky, Scott might just have a wardrobe malfunction. Promised, or prompted by Estelle's foreboding statement, Nakchan shifted her gaze toward the only male present. She looked up and down my body without saying a word, all the while staring with her mouth agape. You know, my eyes are up here. Allowing her fluster to show for the first time, Nakchan struggled to regain her composure. Well, I suppose the beach wouldn't be too bad. No, I mean, Nakchan wants to go to the beach. Yeah, yay! You aren't fooling anyone with that half-assed exclamation, Nakchan. I assure you, I will not pay having any wardrobe malfunctions. That being said, if you both want to go, I won't try and stop you, as long as you return to your work without complaint afterward. Of course. Naturally. Yep, right. There's no way it'll be that easy. I sigh and hang my head. Fine, all four of us will go tomorrow morning. But until then, you're going to be working on your assignments like usual, understood? That's the plan. Oh, yeah. Nakchan peered back towards her painting as the thought of continuing entered her mind. What is it? Is there another reason, some other reason why you don't want to continue? No, it's nothing like that. Oh, I mean, Nakchan is still tired, remember? Yeah, carry me like a princess bride. How did you... forget it. Though there appeared to be something bothering Nakchan, I decided to let it go and return to our status from a few minutes ago. I tried to get her to work, but Nakchan hurt her chest and back, and we both wasted precious... what? But we both wasted precious that time? Precious time? That could have been spent painting. Even then, there remained one difference. With the thought of a beach day fresh in our minds, the spirits of everyone present had been raised. Although I wanted to spend some time together as efficiently as possible, at least until the girls had completed their assignments. What? And just this once, I too was looking forward for the day ahead. Completed? What does that even mean? What does that mean? That's not gonna work. Only my board shorts are made for the water. But if I only wear those, I'm totally gonna get sunburned. Who gives a shit? I can put on a shirt while we're at the beach. I'll need to take it off when I enter the water, but it should be okay until then. From the moment I woke up, a single promise dominated my mind. As I had been reminded repeatedly yesterday, right up until the moment we all got to bed, I had agreed to spend today at the beach with the other three. It was a real throwaway promise, just an agreement reached without any real thought of being put into it. Once our plans had been made, however, I used them to my advantage. All day I had a carrot for Nakchan and Estelle to chase, a reason for them to continue to keep working despite their fatigue, and indeed having a reward presented to them worked wonders. Both Nakchan and Estelle made significant progress, easily completing 2 days of worth of work in compensation for the excursion ahead. Now, with some sense of regret, I needed to hold up my end of the bargain. I would be escorting my housemates to the beach, where we would spend the day doing whatever they wanted and completely freeing themselves from the world of art. Still, I'm not sure if Dawn's gonna like this. But maybe I can borrow some sunscreen from Estelle. She has it, right? She did plan on using the beach while we were here, so surely she brought some. I'll go ask her before I get too worked up about this. Still wearing my usual clothing, I headed downstairs to see who might else be awake. To my surprise, despite it only being 8 a.m., the sole figure waiting in the living room was that of Estelle, who had slept in every day until now. Estelle? You're awake? I mean, I'm glad to see that you're raring to go, but isn't this a bit early for you? Don't give me that. You think I'd sleep in on a day like today? Besides, I'll have you know I went to bed super early after the hell you put us through yesterday. As Estelle indicated, I had been especially strict while watching over her and Nakchan yesterday. I wanted to make up for the day we'd lost by going to the beach. So I pushed them harder for one of them was prepared to work. As a result, we were all tired out by the time night fell, and none of us had the energy to stay up late or do anything thereafter. Yes, you deserve a break. So, you got your swimsuit picked out? Of course. I have everything a beach lover could ever need. You know, you can literally take off your shorts and bam, that's your outfit. Including sunscreen? Do you really think I'd forget something that vital? Of course. Even if I did, there's some in the bathroom. I guess even reclusive artists enjoy the beach. Sunscreen in the bathroom. Noted. Boom. That's a relief. I didn't bring anything suitable for the beach. You aren't the only one. When I told Dawn that we'd be having a beach day, she was at a total loss for what to wear. I wound up lending her one of my spare outfits, and quite a risque one at that. Whether Estelle was just teasing me or not, I couldn't deny that I was looking forward to see their swimsuits. Being told that Dawn would be wearing one of Estelle's swimsuits only added to that feeling. Speaking of Dawn, are the others awake yet? They're usually raring and ready to go. Nakchan's up. I think Dawn is still asleep, though. Going by the state of my underwear drawer, I'm pretty sure she had a fun night after we all turned in early. Is that right? I laughed nervously, hoping Estelle thought I was only joking. However, her expression didn't change. She was dead serious. Again, huh? I guess you really have to watch those quiet ones. Tell me about it. We need to do something about that little pervert. No, I love her the way she is. Not today, though. Revenge can wait until another time. Once Nakchan's had time to wake up and get ready, we're not wasting a moment. Wow, Estelle really is psyched up about this little outing, isn't she? She's had the opportunity to go to the beach as often as she wanted, yet this is the first time I've actually seen her prepared to go. Perhaps she was waiting for a chance to go with the other girls, but I didn't want to get in the way of their assignments? What? But not me. She didn't want to get in the way. God, brain! I literally added an I when there wasn't one. Alright, sounds like a plan to me. I'll check on the other two. Alright, hurry back. Oh no, this can only end in disaster. With those parting words, Estelle headed back to her own bedroom, presumably to prepare. Alright, girls, let's see who's ready for some fun in the sun. Starting with a visit to Nakchan's room, I was immediately greeted by a familiar sight. Laying down on her bed, her hips raised in the air, was Nakchan, toiling away at her labor of love. Morning, Scott! Despite being hard at work, Nakchan quickly responded to my presence. She turned only her head around as she spoke, leaving me with the same visual as usual. Yeah, good morning. I moved away from the door, positioning myself so that I had a clear view of Nakchan's face, instead of her ass. You're drawing manga this early? Shouldn't you be getting ready to go to the beach? Oh, Scott, don't be silly. There's always time for manga. Besides, Nakchan only brought one swimsuit, so she's ready to go at any time. Alright, fair enough. Though to be honest, I was kind of hoping that Nakchan would have already gotten changed. I unconsciously sighed as I looked at Nakchan's slovenly figure. What's wrong? Do you want to see Nakchan in her swimsuit that badly? Nakchan smirked as she read my mind. No, don't be silly. It's alright, nothing to be ashamed of.
But you're going to have to wait a little longer. Dawn is still fast asleep. And going by the state of my underwear drawer.
Yeah, Estelle warned me about that. That girl is really going to get it one of those days. Anyway, I was just checking in. I'll go see if I can wake Dawn up.
Rightio. Let me know when you're ready.
I strolled past Nokchan's rosy cheeks without looking back, and closed the door behind me. While I was indeed just checking in on her, and not simply making an excuse, I was also wary about staying too long. You won't rope me in with those luscious thighs of yours this time, Nokchan. I'm already apprehensive enough about this beach trip. I'm not adding to that by tutoring you first thing in the morning. Breathing a sigh of relief, I soon reached Dawn's room. Hey, Dawn, are you awake? Rise and shine, you little pervert. Nothing? Dawn, I'm opening the door. I ain't whispering no more. If you're getting dressed, it's your last chance to speak up. Well, she's been warned. I'm going in. I opened the door to Dawn's bedroom, expecting to be greeted by either the naked figure oblivious to my warning, or the sight of Dawn sleeping. Glancing around the room, however, I saw no sign of either possibility becoming reality. Dawn's bedroom was completely devoid of life. That's unexpected. Both Nokchan and Estelle seemed to think that Dawn was still sleeping. And going by her crimes from last night, so did I. Where could she have... Kya! What? Stop resisting. You're only making this harder on yourself. Oh, God. No sooner had I begun to ponder Dawn's whereabouts than I had my answer. What is it this time? I returned to the living room, within which I found both Estelle and Dawn. Scott, hide me. The moment she saw me, Dawn ran to my side, quickly hiding herself behind my back. Hide you? From what? From karma, that's what. As she spoke, I noticed a piece of string in Estelle's hand. I noticed that the string were two triangles, spaced equally distant from each other's end of the string. In Estelle's other hand was another piece of string. This one had a large triangle, and two more endpoints. After a few moments of inspection, I realized that she was holding a rather revealing string bikini. Is that your swimsuit, Estelle? Don't be silly, of course it isn't. This is Dawn's swimsuit, isn't that right, Dawn? Dawn trembled behind my back. No, that's not right. I want a normal swimsuit. There's no way I could wear something like that. Sizing up Dawn's body, I was pretty sure the string bikini would cover everything it needed to. Whether the string would hold her large bust or not was a totally other story. Fine then, reject my hospitality. Go in the nude for all I care. I'm sure Scott would enjoy that, am I right? You ain't wrong. Dawn glared at me. Oh, hey, don't make this about me. Estelle, can't you just, swap swimsuits with Dawn? You brought that string bikini because you were planning on wearing it yourself, right? So why not let Dawn take what you were going to wear? Dawn nodded vigorously, still clinging onto my shoulder. I guess I could do that. But that would be no fun. This is as much punishment as anything else. Turning a trip into the beach for punishment, huh? Dawn is shy, but she's not a shut-in. The beach shouldn't be considered a form of punishment. This is inhumane. Yeah? Well, you should have thought about that when you were raiding our underwear drawers, you pervert. Oh. Reminded of her own crimes, Dawn's resistance began to diminish. Her grip on my shoulder strengthened, but she was no longer looking Estelle in the eye, nor did she fight back with the intensity from moments ago. Fine, but this makes us even. Not even close. Go put this on. I don't want to hear another word from you until you're dressed for the beach. Reluctantly releasing my shoulder, Dawn accepted Estelle's so-called swimsuit, quote, and retreated to her bedroom. Damn, I almost feel sorry for her. Don't, she had this coming. Anyway, forget about her. When do I get to see what you're wearing? Estelle looked at my body up and down, smiling to herself without even trying to be subtle. I'll get changed shortly. Don't keep me waiting. Like Dawn, Estelle returned to her own bedroom to get changed, leaving me with nothing but a sense of unease. Oh, jeez. Well, following Estelle's lead, I returned to my room in order to change. I changed quickly, since I basically just had to strip down and put on shorts. The only real delay was the decision of whether or not I should wear underwear. As, well, my boxers weren't made for swimming. In the end, I opted to go without, figuring that nobody would notice anyway. Rip! Rip! It sure is breezy. Maybe I should have left them on after all. Sparing only a moment to second-guess myself, I made my way directly to the beach. God, this is not gonna go. What if you get a... Whoa, hello. I was about to say, what if you get a boner? Like, that's... You listen. Okay, here's the thing. You're, like, surrounded by 3 beautiful women in sexy swimwear, and you're going without underwear, and you're thinking, it'll be fine. I ain't gonna get a boner. That's literally what he's thinking.
Yo, Scott, took you long enough. Have trouble deciding what to wear?
Despite my haste in getting changed, I was not the first person to arrive at the beach. Awaiting my arrival was Nakchan, dressed in a school swimsuit far too big to be made up for a real high school student. Her entire legs were fully visible, giving me an all too vivid flashback of her manga drawing pose. Otherwise, aside from her arms and shoulders, Nakchan was fully covered, exposing less skin than the rest of us likely would be. Nah, nothing like that. More importantly, when did you get down here? And what's with the outfit? Prompted by my question, Nakchan struck a pose. Nakchan raised her arms and moved her hips to the side as she winked at me, giving off the vibe of a pop idol.
Hee hee hee. You like it? Nakchan walked straight past you while Dawn was clinging to your back.
So that's how you got down here so quickly. Nakchan must have heard the commotion and figured that it was time to go. That still doesn't explain your outfit. Nakchan raised her eyebrow, seemingly confused by my statement.
Explain? What part of my outfit needs explaining? All beach chapters need at least one character wearing a school swimsuit, don't they?
No, not really. They don't, actually. Where'd you even get that outfit, and why did you bring it with you?
Jeez, you're just full of silly questions, aren't you? The cabin is right beside the beach. Who wouldn't bring a swimsuit?
Dawn, apparently. Though I guess my outfit might not really count either. Alright, and your choice of swimsuit?
What's wrong with it? I'll have you know, this was an extremely popular item at the convention I attended in Japan last year.
I sighed and shook my head. I should have figured that something like that would only be available in Japan.
But you know, the other people wearing swimsuits were cosplayers and staff members from the adult section. People kept asking Nakchan what series she was from, or if they could buy her outfit once it was all sweaty.
Yeah, that must... Wait a second. You put it on while you were still at the convention?
Well, of course I did, silly! Why else would I buy clothing if not to wear it? It was difficult to find a changing room, though. Nakchan wound up getting changed in the adult section with the other staff members. When I told them I didn't actually work there, they all stared at me like some kind of weirdo.
Dumbfounded, I can only stare at Nakchan with dead eyes as her innocence and naivete astounded me. Nakchan, I could describe you in many ways, all of which are far less flattering than being called a weirdo.
Anyway, enough about Nakchan. What's with your shitty swimsuit, Scott?
Mine?
Yeah, Nakchan was hoping to see you in Speedos, a racing suit, bungee smugglers.
What the hell is that? What the hell are you talking about?
You know what I mean. Those undies that professional swimmers wear and perverts wear.
You're the last person who should be criticizing someone else's choice in swimwear. These are all I brought with me. I didn't actually plan on going swimming while I was here.
Aw, are you serious? That's like no fun.
Well, yeah, we didn't all come here to have fun. Even if we're down at the beach right now, we're still in the middle of an art course. This isn't a vacation. Nakchan's expression droops upon hearing my conclusion. A moment later, however, her smile returned in full force, and her eyes were fixated on something behind me.
Hee you say that, but this is definitely starting to feel like a vacation.
What are you talking about? I turned around as I spoke, and the moment I did, I knew exactly where Nakchan was staring. Oh my.
Sorry I'm late.
Nosebleed just shooting out of my fucking nose. Well, clearly, where else would it be shooting out from? Coming towards us was Dawn, dressed in the skimpy string bikini that Estelle had loaned her.
I had some trouble putting my swimsuit on. The string keeps coming loose, and the bottom half feels like it's sliding down. And the top half is too small and...
Dawn spoke quickly to cover her embarrassment. Thankfully, that was about all she was able to cover. True to her words, the bottom half of her outfit was too big for Dawn, so she had to twist her body unnaturally in order to keep it on. In doing so, she put extra pressure on the top half, as the movement of her breast tugged at the string holding the bikini together. Estelle, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know I shouldn't take advantage of this situation. I know Dawn is in trouble right now, and it's terrible for me to stand by and do nothing. Even so, I really do wish I had a camera with me. Cursing my own morality, I reluctantly averted my gaze. Dawn's plight was not something I should take pleasure in, nor was it something I should wish upon myself or others. Even so, I could not deny feeling a familiar sense of stimulation whenever I peeked at her bit trembling figure.
Oh my, that's quite the outfit, Dawn. You really should have gone with something more normal, like mine.
Too distracted to rebuke Noctron's ridiculous claim, I found myself repeatedly looking towards Dawn's shaking torso. Every time she tried to hide her chest, the movement instead caused the strings to become even more loose. In turn, she stopped moving, at which point her bottom half began to slide down. She was trapped in an endless cycle of visually stimulating chaos.
I'm not wearing this because I want to. This was my only option. It was either this or go naked?
Dawn nodded.
Yeah, I guess. But you know, in this case, I think it would actually be less embarrassing to be naked. Though if you weren't, Scott might ravage you here on the beach.
Totally would.
Eep!
Dawn jumped back, paying no mind to how the action would affect her swimsuit. Hey! Why am I the bad guy here? Noctron, you and Estelle need to stop trying to pin things on me, especially when it comes to Dawn. She's the best. Just because I'm a guy, that doesn't mean I'm going to go around doing perverted stuff like you three. Or to you three. I mean, I don't know. To you three, okay? Yeah, we know. You're a herbivorous male through and through. Oh my. Chiming in a moment later, before Dawn's swimsuit could finally give way, Estelle commanded the attention of everyone present. Wearing a surprisingly normal swimsuit, Estelle appeared before us with a carefree smile on her face. Behind that smile was smooth skin, untouched by her usual makeup and complemented by her unusually cheery disposition. While the sight before me was welcome, however, I couldn't help but be a little suspicious. I had suspected that Estelle's choice would be even more extreme than Dawn's swimsuit, considering who the true owner of said swimsuit really was. Instead, what adorned her body were frills and bright colors, an innocent swimsuit, like something a child would wear. What is it? Don't just go quiet like that, it's embarrassing. Soft-spoken, Estelle turned away from us with a light blush on her face. Despite wearing the most normal swimsuit here, bar my own, Estelle appeared to be embarrassed by her choice. So this is what the mighty Gyaru wears to the beach, huh? I wouldn't be surprised if that string bikini was just a bluff. A conversational piece with which she could pine about going to the beach. If she hadn't loaned out her swimsuit to Dawn, I wonder which she would have chosen to wear. Sensing that nobody else would be speaking up anytime soon, I nervously stepped forward. Hey, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just kind of strange to see you wearing something so childish. Estelle pouted, as though trying to give credence to her own take on my criticism. I was going to say normal, but yeah, that works too. Well, sorry for defying your expectations. Although she tried to sound mad, Estelle seemed like she was enjoying herself. I glanced back at Dawn and Noctron. As Dawn was too occupied to participate in the conversation, only Noctron appeared to be paying any sort of attention. Rather than give a verbal response to what she saw. Noctron's reaction was to offer a simple thumbs up. See, there's nothing wrong with your outfit. I think it looks great on you. And Noctron's giving it a thumbs up. Noctron is just sizing me up so she can use as material for her manga later. Surprised by Estelle's revelation, I looked back at Noctron. Sure enough, she was moving her thumb and head slightly as she tried to get a feel for Estelle's dimensions, as though she was in the middle of painting a model. I should have known. Still a little annoyed, Estelle managed to put on a smile. Forget about her. I'm glad you like it, Scott. Most guys only appreciate swimsuits like Dawn's, so I was worried that you might be too busy looking at her to notice me. Blushing slightly as she spoke, Estelle continued to display a smile unlike anything I thought I'd ever see from her. Just as her outfit indicated, Estelle seemed to be filled with childlike wonder. Her usual attitude had disappeared, and the words she spoke were filled with nothing but honesty and joy. Don't mention it. I looked away as I could feel my own face heating up. Presented with this rare side of Estelle, I was unsure of how to react. She looked and acted so much cuter without her usual makeup on. It was almost as though she had become an entirely different person. Come to think of it, why does she bother to put that crap on in the first place? I think she looks so much better like this, and I can't be alone in thinking that. I mean, I bring it up every fucking time I see Estelle. I have to mention that I think she looks better without makeup. Maybe Estelle just doesn't have any confidence in her natural appearance. With that in mind, I turned to face Estelle once more. You know, you should go without makeup more often. You look beautiful just the way you are. BAM! Fucking smooth! Estelle's eyes opened wide. Whether she was surprised by the suddenness of my comment, or the words themselves, it was enough to bring a deeper blush to Estelle's just absolutely gorgeous face. You're just making fun of me, aren't you? Not at all. I meant every word of it. Without that disgusting makeup on, you're the most beautiful girl here. You're just saying that so you can laugh behind my back later. No, even just then. That compliment was totally backhanded. You just said I usually look disgusting, didn't you? What? No, that's not. Estelle's expression scorned. Unlike before, this time her annoyance was not merely for show. Something about what I said had cut her deep. You said she looks disgusting. Okay, no, she didn't. You said her makeup looks disgusting, thus in turn saying she looks disgusting with her makeup on. You don't say that. Just kidding. I know you didn't mean it like that. Let's just go join the other two, shall we? Quickly walking off with undue haste, Estelle casually dismissed my statement and escaped from our deteriorating conversation. Despite what she said, however, her expression showed lingering resentment at my words. While our conversation may have been put on hold, it was still far from over. Damn, son. Whoa. Hello. In the hours following our meetup on the beach, our trip continued in a predictable fashion. The girls and I put on sunscreen and with a few clearly defined no contact zones. Also, this is the best part, the best scene. Noctron over there just like, yes. when God damn it. We then entered the freezing cold water together, wincing at the sun drop in temperature. After a few attempts, we managed to enter the water, still shivering our butts off as we adjusted to the temperature. Before long, however, the ice-cold water had taken its first casualty, and the number of swimmers had been reduced to 3. Come on, Scott, you're missing out! Yeah, what's wrong? Afraid you'll lose to me in a splash fight? I'm staying right where I am, thank you very much. Aw, you're no fun. You can't even see Dawn's nipples from over there. As their interaction illustrated, I was that casualty. No matter how much I wanted to join the girls as they played together in the ocean, I just couldn't do it. The moment the freezing water reached my waist, covered by only one thin layer, I was out. My testicles would not allow me to go in any further, even if it was just for the sake of playing with these 3 beautiful girls in swimsuits.
Watch out for the shark attack!
Stop that!
The string was made to be pulled!
No, it wasn't. Not this string. You should be more worried about what's happening in the front of you. Splash! It's so cold. Shark attack. No! Just as they promised, Nocchon and Estelle repeatedly exacted their vengeance on Dawn for all her late-night shenanigans. While with Estelle at the front and Nocchon behind, the two of them teamed up to take on Dawn. Not that they needed to. Dawn was already having enough difficulty keeping her swimsuit on as it is. Nonetheless, Nocchon pulled the strings on Dawn's bikini at every opportunity she had, while Estelle provided an ice-cold distraction. Please, stop it already! What did I do to deserve this? Panty theft.
Panty sniffing?
Peeping in the bath.
Peeping in the toilet?
Returning soiled magazines.
Returning soiled panties?
Masturbating in the hallway.
Well... Shark attack!
No more shark attacks. I'm already naked. What more do you want from me? Taking Dawn's protest as a form of challenge, Nocchon grabbed both of Dawn's buttocks. She then jiggled them around, spreading them wide open and slapping them together again. Whoa. This is going too far. If you keep this going, I really will get mad.
Then show me your anger. It can't be any cuter than your little butthole.
Fucking Nocchon! I'm dying. Jeez. Normally docile and shy, Dawn was being forced out of her shell by the ongoing harassment at the hands of her housemates. While I didn't think there was anything wrong with Dawn being introverted, or that this was the right way to handle her, I wasn't about to step in. After everything Dawn had done to her housemates, this much harassment barely scratched the surface. Nocchon, don't you think that's a bit crazy? Dawn's learned her lesson, haven't you, Dawn? I have. I swear I have.
Really?
I have. I've learned my lesson, I promise. See, I told you. After today, Dawn will never peep on us or steal our underwear again. I think not. Isn't that right, Dawn? Dawn paused to consider the question. I repeat, Dawn will never peep on us or steal our underwear again. Isn't that right, Dawn? Don't do it, Dawn! Don't do it, Dawn! You take that peek! Come on! No. Yes! Dawn's my fucking... Oh, she's the best.
Shark attack!
I laughed to myself as this unbelievable scene unfolded before my eyes. Even when offered an escape, Dawn defiantly held on to her resolve. Then, struck down by her own honesty, Dawn showed no mercy. You really can't help yourself, can you, Dawn? While I admire your commitment, you need to learn when to lay low. Having refused Estelle's charity, Dawn opened herself up to the next stage of Nocchon's attack. Previous shark attacks had all targeted Dawn's clothing, stripping off her bikini and top. Now that she was naked, however, Nocchon's assault would take a rather disturbing turn.
Dawn's butt cherry, get!
Emulating a prank some young children in Japan would play, Nocchon stuck both her index fingers up Dawn's anal sphincter. Usually this prank was performed on clothed victims, so the victim's pants would turn to attack something mild. In this case, however, Dawn was naked, so Nocchon's prank stole from Dawn something vital. I want to go home.
Hey, it was just a joke. There's no need to cry. Besides, the butt doesn't count. You can still be a bride, okay?
You two are beyond help. Oh my god. What the fuck? Am I done? Am I done at the beach? Oh, best beach ever.